Okay, all good. Yeah, so well, we shouldn't mention any customers by name, but this particular customer that we were talking about, we're recording now, by the way.
Okay,
Um,
cool.
she was with us for I guess about 2 months, maybe a little bit more than 2 months,
Hmm.
and we did a lot of stuff for her, and she was really satisfied with everything. And then I messed something up. I I messed it up. I did, and she was basically doing a promotion, and I was supposed to set up some email preview of a thing that was going to drive sales, and I kind of messed it up, and so she wasn't getting those subscribers, and naturally, understandably, she wasn't happy about it.
Hmm.
And she basically wrote in saying, "Hey Vic, I'm really displeased." And she didn't say she was going to quit. She didn't really threaten, but she did say, "Well, what are you going to do for me now?" And that got me thinking about how when you try to back away from your business and you try to make it about your systems and your processes and your team, and you stop being involved, um, it's easy to get sloppy. And
Hmm.
so the topic of this podcast is sort of about customer service and about the fact that, especially in a services business, but probably in any business, the really, really, really important thing is to have great customer service. So I thought we could talk about what does that mean, and and maybe you have some stories you can share as well.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, good, nice, good subject. Um, well, I agree that the customer service for sure is like super important, like vital. I would say even
Like what?
it's like vital,
Vital.
as a business. Yeah, vital. Sorry, vital. It's definitely vital. Um, because well, as we say, like a displeased customer will like express himself like 7 times more than like an happy customer. That's the official stats.
Really?
Yeah, 7 times more. You will complain about servers 7 times more than you will say, oh, it's a cool service. So yeah, like unhappy customer can be really, really like loud on social network or on your home system. And yeah, so you want to please your customer, definitely for sure. And so that's interesting because, well, like I'll say a few years ago, that is kind of a new um, job title that just show up,
Customer
which is
happiness?
yes,
Yeah.
customer management, happiness management, like customer happiness manager, basically. And I remember like a few years ago when this kind of job show up, I was like, what? What the heck? What is that? It's a new hipster thing, like another like useless job title for a startup kind of company. But finally now I kind of understand what those people does
Mm.
and how important they are, because you can't, like, especially for in our case, for example, we work with designer, we work with developer. uh, those people, they are good at what they do, like our developer, they are like super good, they're like rock star. uh, but they are developers, they're not like into customer management, like this the
Right.
social skill that you need to manage a customer and everything. It's not what we require from them. We want them to be good at do what they are the best doing, which is developing. And so if you grow your company and if you let your employee do the relationship with the customer as a developer, as a graphic designer, as a whatever, well, they will do their best, but they will not be specialized into it. And that's why this job, like the customer happiness manager, to show up. Those guys, they are like the link between the team and the customer. They are the kind of the firewall.
Right.
They just manage the communication because they know how to do it. Their job is to know the customer perfectly. They know what they like, what they don't like. When they become a customer, they know everything. They will start email by, hey, whatever, how's it going? How was the wedding this weekend? Because they
Right.
know
Right.
they had the wedding. stuff like that. They can be personal and everything. They can create like this really strong relationship that the developer, the graphic designer, everything can't really manage, because they manage a lot of different stuff to do. They work with a bunch of different customers, and they focus on the work. If not, they can't be focused on the work and on the people, on the relationship. And I think it's huge, super important. And I see now how those happiness managers, they are super important, and we need one.
Well, yeah, and we were kind of talking about hiring for that role, because as we, as we started taking you and myself out of the tasks more and more. I mean, we still do tasks, but we're doing more high level kind of business building type stuff. But as we started delegating more of our tasks to the team, I realized after a while that I had to step back in and be the liaison between the implementation team and the customer, because not that our team doesn't know how to speak with customers, but they're just more technical or technically oriented. So they'll say something like, okay, and plus they're Eastern European, so if you're dealing with an American customer who needs to feel more warmth, maybe, then task is done is not what they want to hear. They want to say, hey, John, how's the wife? Oh, cool, I see it's your birthday. Cool, well, look, the task is done if you have any questions. Basically a lot of relationship stuff that the tech guys, the implementation team, they should know how to do that stuff, actually, because it's not always going to be us around to do that and to step in and mediate that relationship. But on the whole, I think it would make sense to have somebody basically look through all of our tickets every day and clarify anything and make sure that there's nothing being assumed, and follow up also. Like what I do often these days is, like, if you or one of our guys updates a ticket, I will go back and read through the thread, and then I'll see what he wrote, and then I'll send an additional reply, and I'll say, hey, just to add to what Leslie said, blah, 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 blah. Because a lot of times the implementation guy will just like look at the last few messages and just address that thing and forget about the context of the whole thing.
Yeah, true. Yeah, completely true.
And like even, traditional advertising agencies, they had an accounts part of the company, which is all the relationship guys who bring in the business, do the wining and dining and the drinking and the blah, blah, blah. And then creative. And they do the thing that creates the results. So I think it's a pretty tried and true division of labor, and it definitely makes sense in our company. And I don't know if it would be a customer happiness person. It would basically be like a project manager.
You can call it whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the job.
Yeah, I agree. And the interesting stuff as well is the system, like I can call them like the support system, like the one we use. For example, we use Freshdesk, but there's a million of other ones. Zendesk, Desk, millions, like literally millions of them. Last time we were looking to the new one, and I remember we were so surprised to see all hundred of different services that exist, and that try basically to do exactly the same thing, which is to be an interface between customer request and company. And that's, well, basically it's always end up the same way. Is customer will send an email that, or write directly into a dashboard, but it will end up the same way every time. It will transform into a ticket that will show up into a dashboard where a team can just connect and just get the ticket attribute to whatever person, or attribute themselves the ticket, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's so you have hundred like maybe thousands of systems that exist and that do exactly that. It's like tickets showing up on dashboard, and team just like taking care of them. But I have the feeling that it's all end up the same way. You will get like one customer will ask for something, and the team member will answer that and say, okay, blah, blah, blah. And it will start. And it will end up with like super crazy long ticket. Because us as a company, as a team, we see that as a tool. For us, it's like, it makes sense. We go on the dashboard, we have a ticket, we solve the ticket solve code there, new ticket attribute, blah, blah, blah. And we work with that. We understand this whole system. When we visualize or the request and everything, we really like visualize the ticket and how it works. But like, just put yourself in the shoes of a customer. They don't think about tickets at any time. It's not ticket in their mind. In their mind, they just like go on their mail and they just ask something like, hey, and most of the time they will ask directly to you. You know, like if I say, hey Vic, hey Leslie, I've this on my website, blah blah blah. Can you do this? And they will send it. And in their mind, they work with you. They just like send a mail to a person that will do something. They don't have this like structure of ticket dashboard and stuff.
Correct. And they shouldn't have to feel that. That's for our. They should feel like it's a natural, organic communication.
Exactly, and that's actually all those systems that try to do that. They want to remove this whole ticket stuff from what the customers see. That's why usually everything works with email. They send an email, and that's all the communication is done by email, right? But I really think like it is the right thing, because like if the customer don't really understand this ticket stuff and just send email, you will end up to send email asking sometimes the same thing. It will send a first email like, hey, can you fix that on my website? Then it will start a ticket on the dashboard. Someone will be attributed to it, fix it or not fix it, whatever. And the customer, maybe one day he will like forget about that, you know, like someone of our team will answer the ticket, fix it. And the customer will like eventually see the mail in his mailbox, and he will just look at the title, would say like ticket fixed, and he will not even open it. He'll say, okay, cool, archive. I don't even open it. It's done. But if you do that, the ticket on the dashboard is still open. It will be open for like 48 hours, I think. Then after 48 hours, it will close automatically. But it will still be open for 48 hours, right? And maybe like a week later, customer get back on the website, look at what he asked like a week later. And okay, they do that. It's not exactly what I wanted. Okay, let's send another email. Hey guys, can you do that? Which is exactly what he asked before. We will create like another ticket for the exact same thing that have been opened like a week later. So my point is like, it's not super efficient because customers don't understand that. And they can lose themselves into trade of tickets. They will forget about it. I know like on our dashboard, we have ticket with like maybe like 50 email in it. Easy 50 email for one thread, because customer will like ask for fix A, then like a week later will answer this like, okay, can you also fix B? Then like a week later, I can also do this and this into the same ticket. So we'll just add mail.
There's a function in Freshdesk to split off into a new ticket. Off.
Yeah, that's true. Which bring me to another part of it is the team. That's why the project manager is important, because team will not like immediately think like, okay, so he has different things, so maybe I can split that and blah blah blah. When the project manager will say like, okay, cool, so you want this, I can split that and I can give it to this person because I know he don't have enough, he have some time, he can do it, or this person is better to do that. I will split the ticket and just take care of it. Boom, boom, split, done. But anyway, at the end, even if they split the ticket, like the project manager will split ticket, it will still create like other ticket for us. And the customer will still not really understand what happened on the back end. For him, it will still be, I've sent one email and I've just this one conversation with one person and I just ask stuff. And so they will forget about it. They will, sometimes they will ask something and we will answer like immediately and say, okay, cool, we can do that, but we need this. Send the email back. And we will not heard about the customer for like weeks because I don't know, whatever, they don't check their email. And so my point is, customer don't understand ticket management system and all the system we use to taking care of what they want. Team member will use the system as a system. So they will say, okay, I need to do that. That is done. Check, as you say. So you need a project manager in the middle to manage all this chaos and just make the link with the customer. But I still think, I mean, okay, I don't have a solution, like an immediate solution to that, but I still think like this ticket system stuff, I'm not sure it's the right answer for like general public. I'm sure it works for a lot of kind of company. If you like I don't know, like a software company or like a hosting company, say, hey, I have a error 404 on this page. Okay, let's fix that. Okay, it's fixed, done. Okay, maybe it works. But for something more complex, like what we do, when our customer ask like complex stuff, I'm not sure this is the right kind of system. And I think this is why you have like thousands of different like ticketing system.
Yeah. The thing that I try to do maybe 3 or 4 months ago is I try to send in a few tickets just from one of my burner emails just to see how it feels from the customer's perspective to open a ticket, to receive replies, how the automatic replies look and feel, and just how did it kind of feel. And it was really insightful because it led me to think, okay, there's a bunch of unnecessary notification emails that are getting sent out, so I'm going to kill all of those. Did that. And then I basically just went through and edited all of the other emails, because they were saying, some of our customers were saying, hey, Vic, like if we create a ticket for the customer, it sends them an email saying, hey, we got your ticket, we'll get started right away. But they don't even know what the hell it's talking about, because we're the ones who created the ticket for them, and they probably don't even remember what it was about. So they're like, why am I getting this email? I didn't even create a ticket. So what I did is I basically edited it saying, hey, P.S., if you didn't create a ticket, we did this on your behalf. And it didn't have the ticket URL, so they didn't even know what it was about. So now we put the ticket URL there as well. But that one is kind of weird because it forces people to create an account in Freshdesk and log in. And so that already takes it out of the email ecosystem, and then it now puts them in between two different places, which I don't think is ideal. I think it should just, but you can also use a merge tag to attach the ticket body and the subject of the ticket. So they don't actually have to even log in. They could be like, oh, I know what this is about. So I did that as well. I still don't know if it's ideal. And I mean, I'm with you. I don't know what is the right answer, but I think basically doing this kind of testing from the perspective of the customer and doing more of it, because we only really did it one time, but maybe you do it next, and then you'll have some ideas, and then maybe some of our other team will also see something that the other person missed. So as we grow and as we bring on like a project manager, I think we need to start doing that regularly, like even just to keep the team on their toes, you know? Like how fast are we answering tickets? What was it? One of the key indicators of the quality of a company is Net Promoter Score, right? Like how satisfied are people with your customer service? How quickly are you responding? If something's urgent, can you take care of it right away? That's another thing that a problem that we've had to solve, is that we've had a few situations where customers had a legitimately urgent scenario and we didn't see it until 12, 24 hours later. And so what I've done, and I haven't notified the team about this yet, but I've created a Zap, which if you email our emergency email, it's going to SMS all of us. It's going to send us all emails, everybody on the team, and it's going to send the entire team a Slack message. So the first person who is awake, and we're across different time zones, who can action that ticket, they'll be all over it right away.
Very good.
but I'm keeping it out of the realm of like phone number and live chat because I think that's going to invite a lot of, we won't be able to
Oh
filter
yeah,
it, you see?
no,
Yeah.
yeah, live chat, like give live chat to customers, like it's a really bad idea. I definitely think. Because email will force you to structure your demand and to take some time and everything. So
And to
chat
consider
is,
if it's actually really urgent.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We'll chat. It will be just an endless discussion about whatever. But basically, with what you say, it's just like it just enlightened the need of a like project manager, like definitely, even maybe like two part-time project manager in two different time zones. Yeah. So you know that you always have someone up to take care of everything.
Oh, right. That's a good point. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think I think it could be actually the answer of this whole ticket system, because I mean, as a company, we need a ticket system because this is what allows us to actually work. So we're never going to stop using it. But I think we need to remove it front of the customer, and to do that, we need a project manager. I think the solution. This is a solution. The customer just need to talk to one person, and this person will manage everything. They will answer back the customer. The customer will never interact with the ticket system ever. The customer will send a ticket. Even okay, in my perfect vision of it, it will be customer will send a ticket to an email address that will be checked by the project manager. The project manager will create the ticket. In that case, it will give you like perfectly right ticket, because it will be always the same person that write those tickets. So they know how to do it. They will put the right tag. They will put the right person. They will put all the information needed, all the link needed, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And they will send an attribute to team member, and team member will do the job. Team member will never talk to any customer. So you remove that. They will just do their job. They can talk like technical language with the project manager, like task done. Task done work, no problem. Project manager will take the task done and will send to the customer with like all the nice talking and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And for the customer, it will just be a mail exchange between the project manager. Mail exchange or eventually call if it's needed, whatever. But it will be always this one entry point, which is a human, not like a mail ticket system. So I think for me, for what we do, this is the solution.
That's interesting because it's kind of the opposite of what we're doing right now. We're saying that every team member has ownership over a given ticket. So if if we have a customer named Anna, we don't, but if we have a customer named Anna and she sends in a ticket, and let's say you do the ticket, then it's up to you to reply to her and to interact with her. And actually it kind of makes sense because it decentralizes the communication process. And it means, for example, if you need to get login credentials from Anna, you can do that. You don't need a project manager to be like, hey, project manager, I need you to email the customer. You see, it creates a bottleneck.
Yeah, but that's okay. Well, but you just enlighten like a problem. It's not like you just try to solution something that should never happen. Like asking for like a customer credential, for example. Every time you onboard a customer,
well, what about just follow-ups?
Ask.
What about just like regular questions following up?
Well, that's also the project manager job.
No.
Like
That's too much bureaucracy. It's too much bureaucracy, man. Because
I'm French, bro.
Well, I'm Ukrainian, so the Soviet bureaucracy. But I think the point is that you don't want to create a layer between the customer, but you want to have somebody who's able to step in and smooth things over and clarify. You don't want to make them a bottleneck. You just want to make them the person who comes in and smooth, because that's what I've been doing. So I'm just speaking from experience now, because for example, we have some Eastern European guys who when they reply to a ticket, it's very I don't know, it's very simple reply. Hey, I did XYZ. Is it okay? So they go back and forth with the customer, they come to a solution, and if I see anything that I think requires clarification, that's when I'll step in. Or if I feel that the customer is not satisfied, that's when I'll step in. Otherwise, can you imagine what a pain in the balls it would be to have to do every communication through a PM. No way. There's no way that's a terrible approach, I think.
Maybe. I don't know. I think it would be nice, but maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I never tried that, so I can't tell if it's a good or bad solution.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of like the decentralized approach.
Yeah, well, yeah, it could be a solution. I mean, well, the best way is to try and test, you know.
True that. Well, I guess we need to hire a manager first to get there, and then we could try different stuff. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, recently, I don't know, did you see on Slack that I made a post in the general channel and I said, hey guys, look, we're all doing a lot of traveling right now, and I was speaking about me and you in particular because we're usually the ones sort of doing the project management stuff. And I said, hey guys,
Airtable stuff.
Yeah, I said, look, if you see a ticket in Freshdesk that's open, that nobody has started work on it yet, and you can solve that ticket, go ahead. In other words, you don't have to wait for me to assign it to you or to the other guy or to, if you see it and you can do it, do it. And if you get, if you get stuck on something, assign it to another team member who has the skills that you don't have. And that's why Max asked for that directory. So we have this directory that says, okay, Leslie, he can do design, automations, graphics, landing pages. Okay, cool. WordPress. Vic, he can do membership sites, automations, copy, whatever. And so that way, everybody on the team can say, okay, I can start this ticket, but if I get stuck, then I can ask Christian to help, or I can ask Clevin to help, or I can ask Victor's to help. And I think it's a cool approach, man, because it's giving people ownership and saying, okay, look, right now, maybe you're on your family vacation, so you don't feel like doing anything. Cool. You don't have to do it. Another team member, maybe they want to get a few extra hours in. They can go take some tickets. Cool. So it becomes this kind of internal marketplace that's very libertarian, and it doesn't require us to be bottlenecks to getting the ticket resolved quickly and getting the people work, if they want to work, because all of our guys are contractors. What do you think of that?
Yeah, no, definitely. Okay. Well, I completely agree with the completely autonomous team that just people do what they want to do. Take ticket when they think they can manage it, and assign to the other team member. So it's kind of, everyone is kind of a small project manager in a way. And and if you on the top of that you put like an actual project manager that will be the second layer, it could be really nice. I think it could be really like upgrade our customers' satisfaction.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
Which also brings me to another thing.
Yes, sir.
As a company that use like a team the way we do with like people everywhere in the world and traveling, you need because we use a lot of servers. We use Slack to communication. We use Zoom to have a video meeting. We use Zapier. We use Freshdesk. We use email. We use Drive Card. We use WordPress. We use a lot of stuff. We use a lot of stuff. So Airtable as well. And I think something you need when you have a team like that is, and we talk about that like a few days ago, is dashboard. You need something that centralizes everything you need as a team to do your job. So just like you just log in and you have access to everything. You have access to the team directory. You can know quickly who is available, who do what, who can do what. You can chat immediately. You can, like a kind of a centralized like dashboard with that will group all the service than you use, because it will give you more it will free time for you.
Correct.
And you will not like need, oh, I need to connect there, then to connect there, then to do this and do that. I have everything on my dashboard. So okay, it's cool. Let's go. And I look online for if somebody ever done that, like a kind of dashboard kind of stuff, like link service and everything. I don't find anything. I think nobody really done that. But yeah, I will try to do something for us for sure. WordPress and DB have like a nice dashboard with cool stuff and link to the service we use. But I think it's important to have that.
You just gave me sort of a visual in my head where it would be, for example, just a blank page, right? And let's say you could put every service in an iframe and just arrange the dimensions. So for example, you have like Freshdesk, you have like Slack on the side. Slack already has built-in video calls, so you could use that. What else do we use?
Yeah. And you have plugin as well. If you build everything with WordPress, you have a plugin that will talk to the Freshdesk API, so you can just get the ticket back into and organize them the way you want inside WordPress with shortcode and stuff. I think Slack has the same thing. So I think you can do a pretty nice things just within WordPress.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, that's weird that nobody's built that, because you would think that if you just had this sort of customizable dashboard where you could drag and drop the services you want into sort of sections, and change the dimensions and stuff, and then like connect to API to Slack. Okay, cool. Now you got a little Slack widget. Connect API to Freshdesk. Now you got a Freshdesk widget. And now you have everything on one screen, as opposed to having a bunch of tabs open, basically. Yeah, it's weird nobody's done that.
You have some service that exists, like Geeko board, for example, that will connect with some services and create like some kind of this widget dashboard kind of stuff. But I need to check that. I think last time I looked for this one, they were like pretty expensive. But then they're more to watch, like to connect like Google Analytics and watch your the visit of your website, like look at how many members you have. It's it's made to build those like live dashboard that you will show up on the TV, on a big TV screen in your startup kind of stuff, just to look at the stat of your apps company stuff. When what we do is like a usable dashboard that you can actually do stuff in it.
Correct. Yeah, that's all really interesting stuff. If I could circle back real quick to the idea of customer service and what really makes customers happy. One thing I've noticed is a few times when a customer had an emergency, or when they thought they had an emergency, like I'll give you an example. Recently, one of our customers, she sent in a task to Freshdesk and she said, "Hey Vic, urgent." I love getting emails that are all caps urgent, and it's like my favorite thing in the world. It doesn't stress me out at all. And she said, "Hey, my site is weird," and I went to her site and her SSL certificate expired. So she was getting the Google warning, Chrome warning thing, and her members were writing emails like, "Hey, your site's not safe. What the hell is gonna happen?" And they're like bugging her, so she's passing it on to us. And all I had to do was renew her SSL certificate. And luckily, I got that email basically 30 minutes after she sent it. So I solved the problem right away for her. She's like, "Hey, Vic, thanks so much for the quick reply." And I realized in that moment that, especially for the hosting component of our business, that because we form such a fundamental part, I mean, if your hosting is messed up, everything is messed up. Your business is down for all intents and purposes. So it's so important for us to be able to service requests really, really quickly. And right now, it's not as quick as it should be, and that's why I created that Zap. And I think it's not perfect. I think eventually, as we grow bigger, it would be good to have live chat and stuff. But it just sucks that you have to learn all that stuff the hard way. You know, that a customer
Uh,
basically emails you and says, "Hey, you know, you dropped the ball. What the fuck?" And then you feel so terrible about it. You're like, "All right, well, I don't want this to ever happen again. What can we do about it?" And that's the complaining number 2, I think.
true.
Uh,
True.
uh-huh.
Yeah, immediate responses. Yeah, definitely. I'm mixed. I have mixed feeling with it because, in a way, when you give immediate response, you put the bar there. It's like I can mail them anytime, and someone will answer and fix whatever problem I have. And I think, well, for sure, like hosting component should, I mean, if you host your customer, and if you in your offer, if you say we will manage everything for you, so if you have this component into it, like if it's managing hosting, yeah, sure, you should have that. That's why usually, like, if you go on any hosting servers, they have the managing hosting, and it's fucking expensive because it's mean that somebody will be there 24/7, 365 all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Just there. Something happened, you can just like take your phone, call the service, and say, yeah, sure, I'm here, I'm logged in, I'll fix it right now. For hosting with managing, yes. For any kind of other service, it can be open the door to a fucking ocean of whatever, you know. Like, customer will be like, yeah, cool. Just like, they will ask for like completely random stuff they could do themselves more faster than we will do, you know. Like, hey, can you change the title of this blog post? You know, well, for sure we can do that. It will need like, okay, so what is this customer? Okay, let's go to the database. Let's check if we have the credential. Okay, we have the credential. Log into the WordPress. Check where's the blog post. Find it. Change the title. Done. When for the customer, will be like, go log into my admin. Change the blog post. Done. So I don't say like, you know, if you pay for like services, you can ask that kind of stuff for sure. But if you don't have this live kind of chat access to anybody, would you really create a ticket on the system to ask to change the title of a blog post? I don't think you will do it. You will feel like, they were going to do that maybe in our, you know, like they will need to attribute the ticket and whatever. I can do that in 1 minute myself. Does that make sense?
I suppose doesn't sound like something very common though. That I think, you know what,
Yeah,
it's the distribution. There's always the 80-20 rule or the 90-10 rule, that there's some small percentage of customers who request more stuff or they're more high maintenance, and those are the ones that teach you how to be good at customer service, I think, because those are the people that kind of frustrate you because they're kind of pushing the envelope on what they can get from you. And so it forces you to establish, well, okay, what are our terms? Mm-hmm. What will we do and what will we not do? And, you know, what's reasonable, what's not reasonable. And you can't do it based on your emotion of the moment. It has to be standardized across your company and for all of your team members and stuff. Why are you smiling? You're smiling.
What I was smiling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I will stop smiling.
My professor used to say that, my singing teacher. He'd be teaching me something, and I'd start smirking. He'd be like, "Ha, you're smiling." You're a funny guy.
That's weird when people do that. You have a conversation and they explain something, and you're like, what? You're like, what? I don't know. Will you do that? What do I do? I don't know. Like this thing with your face. I don't do anything.
There's a good Pablo Francisco skit where he's talking about how he's like, oh man, it's the worst when you live with a crazy chick, and he's like, you'd be sitting there, you'd be watching TV, and you'd be eating popcorn, and she like comes in, she's like, hey baby, I brought you some candy and some what? Whoa, what was that look for? Like, what look? That look you just gave me. Like, I disgust you or some shit. Now you're not gonna fucking tell me? He's like, I'm sorry, I went like that.
Well, that's crazy for sure. But yeah, well, so yeah, well, it's a vast subject, the customer service subject.
Well, but so yeah, but the point is that so when we can reply really quickly and solve a problem that seems very urgent, especially with the hosting thing, but really with anything, that's when I feel that our customers really value us a lot. So what I'm saying is the speed of reply seems to be a really huge factor, and I've seen this a few times now. And on the other side of the coin is if it's a slow reply, or what the customer perceives to be a slow reply, depending on the severity of the situation, then they'll get really, really frustrated with you. And that's understandable too. So I think we need to make it a priority, and I've been focusing on how to do this, of how to make sure that if something urgent comes up for a customer, we can solve it really quickly. And what are the furthermore, what are the systems that we can put in place to make that happen? Not just like, am I at my computer? No. Well, if I'm not at my computer, if Leslie's not at his computer, what can we do? Oh, we have this urgent email and it fires off a zap and it sends SMSs to everybody. And basically, and you know what's cool about that system? I thought about this. I thought, I'm going to email all our customers. I'm going to say, hey guys, we have this new emergency email. Here's how it works. You send an email, it's going to SMS everybody in our team. And the cool thing about that is it's saying, okay, you have an emergency, send this thing, but just keep in mind it's going to disturb everybody across like 3 time zones. So, and they'll be like, shit, do I really want to like disturb this like 9 people? Is it really urgent?
Because I was about to say that is, what is an emergency?
Well, exactly. It's subjective.
Exactly. You know, if like, oh, my server is down. Fuck yeah.
That's legit.
That's definitely an emergency. You know, like, oh my God, the color of this title is red. I wanted orange. Urgent. Change it. You know, because customer, they have like, for many of them, their website is like their baby.
True.
Like, my website is everything, which is completely understandable. I understand that completely.
Absolutely.
And they will ask like, hey, can you put this text in this color? And you will do the wrong color. But for any developer, it will be like, yeah, so where is the emergency? You know, I mean, the text is still there. It's not the good color, but I mean, it's all right. It's not like an emergency, but it is an emergency for the customer. Because for him, it's like, hey, I'll ask you red and you put orange. It's not good. And for me, I feel it as an emergency. But is that deserve to send like a SMS across 9 different countries and stuff like that?
Well, that is really a good topic, because it says, well, what is an emergency? You and I have to agree on a definition of what is urgent. So there have to be objective criteria that say, okay, all of these points qualify as urgent. Your server goes down, your SSL certificate expires, your site gets hacked, and it's for whatever reason it's clear to you, like it redirects somewhere. That's an emergency. These are not emergencies.
Is somebody going to die?
We're all gonna die. So we would basically, we would explicitly say these all qualify as emergencies. These are all not emergencies. And the reason that's important is because non-technical customers, they sometimes misinterpret a situation as being urgent when actually it isn't, which is understandable. So it's our job to act, to educate and to help them understand, like, look, that thing is not, it doesn't mean anything, don't worry about it, etc.
I agree completely. And like a good example of that is caching. Caching is one of the most understanding things by customer. So they will make some change on the pages and change will not show up. Or on their browser, they will like, hey, I can't see these pages.
Right.
Because the page has been updated and their cache is still showing the old version. And they will think like, emergency, this page is inaccessible. It's like, oh my God, we're all going to die.
Yep.
But it's not an emergency because actually the page work. They work everywhere. They just not work on their browser. They just need to do like F5 and just clear the cache and it will work. Which brings me to, we should have like a page, like emergency contact page. It will be like a form that will funnel you to, it is really an emergency. So, okay, one, is it what you want to ask is under those categories? Like this. Like you have to check them like, yes, okay, yes. Have you tried to do this? Like, yes. Nothing worked? Okay. It is going to send a SMS to X person around like the world. Are you okay with that? Yes.
That's a good idea.
Send.
That's even better than the email, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, let's do that.
Emergency form.
Emergency form.
Oh yeah. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. The only thing that maybe will make customers feel not so good about that is they want to get somebody on the phone. Because I think
you can have that as an option as well.
Well, but then we're incentivizing people to call us before they've really before they've calmed themselves down and because that's what the form is doing. It's saying
it can be the phone, yeah.
Oh, okay, like give the phone at the very end?
Yeah, exactly.
But then they'll have the phone and they can call at any time.
I think you can actually go around this and use like Skype, because we basically, you can, what I mean? You can just send to a link that will just like pop up just for that call, and it will not be like it will be like transparent for them. They will don't see any phone number. They will just call like a I don't know,
a dummy number or something.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's possible to just like make something ring all or Skype, and like the first that is available can just answer it, and it will not be like a phone number, an actual phone number.
Yeah, and that's more for the customer's comfort because it doesn't actually make us solve the ticket any quicker. Like, I don't know about you, my phone is pretty much off half the time, and I don't even have a SIM card here in Japan, so I can't even answer the phone. So,
right. And something that is done pretty well in France is you will set up like a support line number with a pay number that is really expensive. It will be like 3 euro like per minute if you call this line. It will really make you think twice. Like, do I really want to have someone like that having to pay like 3 euro per minute to ask something, when I can do it by chat or I can do it by mail or stuff like that?
Yes, and you know what else, Leslie? I realized this from our hosting adventures is that a lot of the calls can be prevented, or a lot of the urgent requests can be prevented if we have a filtering system like the form, A, and B is if we have notifications coming in when something goes wrong. If a website goes down, we should be getting notifications about that. And recently one of our customers' websites went down and nobody got notified. And I thought, why is that? Well, it turns out that this particular customer was on their own hosting, but we were managing the updates and stuff. So we didn't have them in managed WP, which does send a notification when a site goes down.
Yeah, true.
So, but that was
on premium.
What's that?
On premium, it's a paid option to have the real time down notification system.
Yeah, it's like $1 or something, or $2.
Monero as a freelancer. Yeah.
But the point is that we didn't have it connected, so that resulted in the ticket, and that resulted in this person being frustrated and stuff. So, a lot of the stuff is preventable. A lot of it is preventable with good systems. Yeah.
Well, I guess we have a good picture of the topic. What do you think?
You want to hear two short anecdotes from Tokyo? Funny stories. 2 funny stories.
Oh yes, please.
Okay. So Uh, okay. A few days ago, I went to the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym here around the area where I stay, and I met the guy. He's a Japanese guy, but he speaks really good English because he lived in LA for a long time. Guy's Max, really nice guy,
Cool.
good black belt, super friendly, super welcoming stuff. So I got there early, so it was just me and him, and he was showing me around the gym. And it's kind of a small gym, but it's cozy and stuff. He said, okay, well, this is the mat, and here's the curtain. So if you want to change, just make sure you change behind the curtain. And here's the shower, and here's the locker, whatever. And then he said, oh, and here's the bathroom. And so he turns on the light, he opens the bathroom door, and as soon as the light comes on, the toilet seat goes as soon as the door to the bathroom opened, and I was like, whoa! And I just started laughing, man, because it was like the bathroom greeted me or something. And for him, it was normal, but he saw that I was kind of like shocked by it, and so he had to laugh about it as well. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Some futuristic bathroom, man.
They have superior toilet system in Japan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. they have like in Chiang Mai, if you go to Maya Mall, they have the super fancy Japanese toilet system.
Yeah, in Bangkok too.
Like
in Terminal 21.
Yeah, a shitload of buttons that would like do some crazy thing.
Yeah.
With the whatever.
Don't get into specifics yet.
Hot water, cold water, hard, slow.
The Japanese, it seems to me, tend to really like technicalize, and I don't want to say complicate, but they like, okay, standing to cross the street when there's no cars coming and there's a red light, and everyone's standing at the red light, but there's no cars visible at all. I mean, you can easily walk across, and in Thailand, or in Saigon, I mean, they don't even use traffic lights. They just fucking go.
Oh, man. Come in France, bro.
They just go?
Oh, man. Light in France, they just like for,
just for color, yeah.
Yeah. It's slow traffic, we will cross. If there's no traffic, we will cross. So, yeah. But in Germany, it's like in Japan.
Oh, they'll stand there.
Dude, middle of the night, 3 a.m. at the cross.
Yeah.
If the light is red, everybody wait.
That's
and if you cross,
so weird,
you will get into. You will like some old dude. They will look at you like idioten, and they just like try to beat you with a cane. Because I get that.
Really?
My very first day, we were in Düsseldorf or we were in Hamburg. I don't remember, but I like at the time, and my girlfriend just crossed the street, and the light was going red, and I start crossing, and I have this old dude just crossed me, just like take his cane and like idioten, and I was like what, and I crossed anyway, but I was really insulted. You don't do that in Germany.
I could see both sides of it. I mean, on the one hand, if nobody follows the rules are useless. And why have them? First. And if you have a rule, that's the whole discipline of having the rule in the first place, is are the people going to follow them when there's an incentive to break it?
Well, in Germany, the other thing is like, okay, so usually if it's a group of people, just like dudes, whatever, and you cross, what happens, like German, they will like look at you crossing, they will like look at each other like, yeah, fuck it, let's do like what this guy do. Is probably not German, so let's do it, and they will just follow you. What is wrong if it's on this group you have kids? If you have kids on the group and you do that, you will get insulted. Like they will get mad at you because you teach the kid the wrong thing. Kids, they will look at their parents like, hey, what this guy cross? It's red, and parents, they will be like, well, it's probably French.
But then again, it's like,
because they.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just saying, like, that's it. Like, parents teach the kids that to not cross the road when it's red, and every other German do that. That one day you are the cross street, and like there's this French dude that is like, fuck it, and just cross, and yeah, and the kids, they are kids. They will say like, hey, well, I want to do that as well.
Yeah, and what is the issue here? What is the red light supposed to do? It's supposed to prevent you from crossing the street when there's cars coming. If there's no cars coming, then the red light is merely symbolic. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
So, I
Sure,
mean,
sure.
do you have common sense or do you not have common sense? I know the light is red, but if there's no cars coming, what is the harm in crossing the street? I mean, are you supposed to be dependent on this external system to be your eyes and ears? No, just look around. There's no cars coming, cross the street. And that's what's cool about Southeast Asia, is it's chaotic, but in a way, it works. You see, I mean, I never saw an accident in Saigon, and I've never been in a place where driving is more chaotic. I mean, you're on the back of a motorbike. People, they're just like weaving in and around each other, and it's really weird. But so what? I mean,
It's okay, it works. I know.
yeah, it works.
The only place in Vietnam you can just like, if you at the back of the road, you like millions of scooter and car and everything, and you're like, and they never stop, so you will never cross. You have to cross.
You have to go, yeah.
And it's something, yeah. And if you go and you just go straight, and the rule is don't look at anybody.
Yeah.
And first time someone told me that in Vietnam, I was like, what? I mean, if I cross the road and like with millions of people everywhere, I want to look at people, like, to check that they see me. And went, no, don't do it, because if you do that and they see that you see them, they will assume that you have to be careful and you have to avoid them. I was like, what? That's weird, but it's actually work. So if you're on the street and you just cross and you don't look at anybody, just cross.
Yeah.
Well, it's magic. People, they just go around you. Nobody will hurt you. You just cross the road.
Yeah.
Nobody will say anything. Nobody will just like horn or whatever. It will work perfectly fine.
Yeah, you're like Moses.
Well, you get used to it. Yeah, exactly. You will open the car for you. So, oh well.
Yeah, so I guess it's a question of like how much rules do you want versus how much order do you want? And the second anecdote I want to tell you, that's another podcast. But the second anecdote I want to tell you is there's a public gym near the station where I'm staying. I'm staying in a pretty quiet area called Asakusa. And then if you go over the bridge over this little river, there's an area called Sumida. And there's a public gym called Sumidaku Public Gym. And it's like 500 yen, which is like $5, almost $5, to train there. So you can lift weights. I was like, cool, I'm going to get some weightlifting done. And I went there at like 6:30 and jiu-jitsu was at 8. So I thought I had plenty of time and stuff. So I arrived around 6:30, 6:45. I get to the front desk. Of course, nobody speaks English. And there's two really cute girls. And I'm saying, gym. Oh, gym. And then they say, and they point to the side, and there's like a giant vending machine thing. So I go to the vending machine, and it's like a computer, and you have to put in what you want to do. And she helped me because it's all in Japanese. And I got my ticket, and she's like, okay. She's like, do you have shoes? Shoes. I said, oh yeah. And I was wearing sneakers, so I thought, okay, cool. I'll just work out in these sneakers. She's like, no, and she points to a sign, and it says, no outside shoes allowed. And I was like, what? No outside shoes allowed? And I was looking at her, I was like, really? She's like, hi. I said, really? She's like, hi. And I said, okay. And she says, rent shoes, 300 yen. I said, okay. And then I had to like give her my shoes so she could match the size. And she goes in the back and she brings out these giant sneakers. For them, giant. Anyway. And I say, okay. And then I said, oh, but she was wearing these socks. So I bent down and I touched her socks. I said, socks, no socks. She said, oh. And then she like goes and talks to her friend and they're conferring. And she goes into another area in the back and she brings out socks. But they're this big. And she's like, can you wear them? And I said, no, there's no way. There's no fucking way I could wear these socks. And they're like, well, what are we gonna do? And I said, and I looked at my watch, and it was like 7:15, 7:20, and I still had to walk for 20 minutes to get to the gym, and I ran out of time basically. I was like, I'm sorry, I don't have time, and And so they just gave me a refund, and then I went to the gym, and I was like, man, because in Thailand, bro, I remember this gym that I trained at in Bangkok, near Ratchathewi station, which is like a really local gym. It's like only Thai dudes. All right, they don't care if you have shoes. It's 50 baht to train, which is not even $2. There's dudes in the back. There's literally dudes in the back. I remember this. They were just shooting steroids. They're just like straight up, just giant Jack Thai guys. And it's this dirty, dinky, smelly gym. I loved it. And you could just go there, lift. Nobody gives a shit. And that would never, never, never happen in Japan. Or at least that's my experience so far. And it's like,
well, now you know that you have to go early. Get your ticket, bring shoes,
bring socks.
Clean socks.
Was...
Well, interesting.
Yeah.
I don't have like a funny anecdote to tell in France.
No.
Sorry. My flight from Paris to Bordeaux was pretty fun because the landing was like we bumped 2 times on landing. Like literally, like we land and we do like boom, boom, boom. That was really interesting. And the pilot was completely like, I was coming from 2 flights, one from Bangkok, Abu Dhabi, and Abu Dhabi, Paris. And when you enter the plane, you have the cabin crew, they're like, hello, welcome, check your ticket out, the seat is there. And my flight from Paris to Bordeaux, when I get in, you have like the captain and the crew there. And it was like super over like, hello, sir, welcome. Okay, where's your seat? Oh, you're number 22. You're just there. Awesome. Have a nice flight. Like, it was insane. I was like, dude, is this captain take coke or something? It was so weird. And when we actually land, I was like, yeah,
you did.
Definitely this guy's on something. So this is the only funny anecdote that I have. And of course, like when I arrived in Paris from Abu Dhabi, at the entrance in the airport that you have to go through the custom, and before that you have to check your bags and everything. Mm-hmm. All the people, like the French people that were working there, nobody of them were speaking English, none of them. And you have like this whole bunch of people from everywhere, from Abu Dhabi, from Bangkok, from States, from whatever. They were all English speaker. And you have all those French that were just like screaming at them, sir, go to this line. You see this line? You have to go there. Sir, look at this line. Or in French, of course, I just say it in English, but it was like, sir, you have to go there. And for people, it was literally like, blah, 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 blah. It was so fucking weird. I was like, dude, how can you work in a fucking international airport and just like scream at people in your own language when you know that all those people come from international, they're from other countries.
Yeah.
They probably speak not French, And I was like, yeah, that's my country for sure. Welcome back.
Yeah. Good example of bad customer service.
No customer service.
No customer
because
service.
If you ask something,
if you ask something in English, stupid American visiting my country. He doesn't even speak my language.
Yeah, exactly. Why should we speak English? I mean, we're just the first touristic destination in the world. There's no point to speak English. Whatever.
Yeah. Last night, after the open mat, a bunch of us guys, we went to have dinner. And after the dinner, one of my buddies, he has like this weed oil that he carries with him. Mm-hmm. And I saw him, he like took some weed oil and gave some to one of the dudes. And I turned around, I'm like, what is that? I was curious. And he's like, oh, it's weed oil, here. And he gave me like a little dot, and I ate it. It tasted really good, actually. It tastes like, I don't know, it tastes like weed, but it's like kind of grassy flavor. And then we all walk to the subway, and I start to get kind of stoned. And I got a little, and there was a lot of people too, so I was kind of nervous. Like, I don't really like weed in social situations and stuff. So I started to get kind of anxious and stuff. And in the subway, everything is in Japanese, bro. And my stop is Asaksa. And there was a stop on the thing, and it said Asaksa Bashi. And I was like, oh, that must be my station. There must just be some like additional word meaning something. I don't know. So I booked a ticket to Asksabashi. And then I got on the train with the guys, and I didn't even know if I was in the right line, man, because there's like 4 different lines. The subways here, it's such a huge. I've never seen it in my life, anything like this in my life, and it's completely confusing. And I get on the train, and I'm like, okay, and I get off at Asksabashi, and I'm like, okay, cool. Not my stop, because I get out of the exit, and I don't know where the hell I am. Luckily. The Google Maps app, even if you're not online, if you were online previously, it'll tell you your location relative to where you are. That's such a cool feature, man. Thank God for that. Because like, oh, okay, I'm really not so far. And I had to walk like half an hour, but the weather here is fucking beautiful, so it was great. But yeah, really a trip here, man. We gotta come back, bro.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Just, we'll have such a good time here.
I'm sure. Cool.
All right, bro. Well, I'm sure you have a lot of stuff to do. I know I do. So why don't we wrap it up?
Yep. Let's do that. And well, enjoy your trip in Japan. When